There is no harm in repeating a good thing. Thinking, the talking of the soul with itself. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future in life. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. Dictatorship naturally arises out of democracy, and the most aggravated form of tyranny and slavery out of the most extreme liberty. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. Attention to health is life's greatest hindrance. Better a little which is well done, than a great deal imperfectly. Justice means minding one's own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. Love is the joy of the good, the wonder of the wise, the amazement of the gods. Necessity, the mother of invention. No one is a friend to his friend who does not love in return. Twice and thrice over, as they say, good is it to repeat and review what is good. When men speak ill of thee, live so as nobody may believe them. There are three classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. Nothing in the affairs of men is worthy of great anxiety. This city is what it is because our citizens are what they are. Science is nothing but perception. Democracy is a charming form of government, full of variety and disorder, and dispensing a sort of equality to equals and unequal alike. Rhetoric is the art of ruling the minds of men. To be sure I must, and therefore I may assume that your silence gives consent. Life must be lived as play. The measure of a man is what he does with power. Let parents bequeath to their children not riches, but the spirit of reverence. The punishment which the wise suffer who refuse to take part in the government is to live under the government of worse men. Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs. When he first appears, he is a protector. Astronomy compels the soul to look upwards and leads us from this world to another. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. Honesty is for the most part less profitable than dishonesty. There will be no end to the troubles of states, or of humanity itself, till philosophers become kings in this world, or till those we now call kings and rulers really and truly become philosophers, and political power and philosophy thus come into the same hands. Knowledge becomes evil if the aim is not virtuous. Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom. For a man to conquer himself is the first and noblest of all victories. He who commits injustice is ever made more wretched than he who suffers it. All things will be produced in superior quantity and quality, and with greater ease, when each man works at a single occupation, by his natural gifts, and at the right moment, without meddling with anything else. For good nurture and education implant good constitutions. Love is a serious mental disease. People are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. Music is the movement of sound to reach the soul for the education of its virtue. A hero is born among 100, a wise man is found among 1,000, but an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. At a touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. The beginning is the most important part of the work. All men are by nature equal, made all of the same earth by one workman, and however we deceive ourselves, as dear unto God is the poor peasant as the mighty prince. Wonder is the feeling of the philosopher, and philosophy begins in wonder. The empty vessel makes the loudest sound. The man who makes everything that leads to happiness depends upon himself, and not upon other men, has adopted the very best plan for living happily. This is the man of moderation, the man of manly character and wisdom. And what, Socrates, is the food of the soul? Surely, I said, knowledge is the food of the soul. Courage is knowing what not to fear. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help, and what they cannot. Every heart sings a song, incomplete until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Justice in the life and conduct of the state is possible only as first it resides in the hearts and souls of the citizens. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and everything. Ignorance, the root and stem of all evil. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile.